Morning time, YouTube. It's your boy, man. Back at it. You know what I mean? Got some things going on, man. My GoPro batteries is out, so I got to go buy 2 GoPro batteries, and I need to go ahead and get that light so I can do my stuff. You know, I have little lighting. But the Raw show coming up on the 1st. I got to have the batteries. I'm gonna be streaming live too. So if y'all rock with your boy and y'all ain't get to the city, you know what I mean? Y'all want to see what's going on? I'm gonna stream that shit live over there. You know what I mean? So, you know, because everybody, if you can, you can. You can't, you can. Don't even matter at that point. But anyway, this is what I got going on today, man. A couple of things I want to address. With the Grand National. And we're gonna talk about it, man. All right, one thing, man. The question is, you know, a guy got on the page the other day and we was talking about, he got an 84 Grand National as well. He was talking about, you know, LS swapping. And that's a big debate with the Grand National is the only car that people have a problem with you pulling the motor out. I get it, the Turbo 6 and all that, but I don't hear nothing about the T-types. I don't hear nothing about the Turbo T's. I don't hear nothing about none of those other Buicks that have the V6 in it, you know. But you talk about pulling out that V6 out the Grand National, man, everybody's like, yo, it's not a Grand National no more. It's not this, it's not that. And I get it, you know, it's the heritage of the car. I actually, let me give you a little backstory. I actually bought my 6.0 that I have and my 4L80 for this car, you know. But because of how I bought the car, because of the history of the car, you know, I decided to stick with the 6. And in retrospect, if I could do it all over again, I swear to God, I'd swap it. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I mean? Keeping these things pure and, you know, trying to keep the you know, the nostalgia of the Turbo 6, the V6 engine, whether it be the hot air or the intercool, you know, is very, very, very expensive, man. And unless you got deep pockets and you want a car that's got a minimum reliability and you're willing to sacrifice that money, then by all means, you know, if you want to keep it pure, keep it pure. But for a lot of us that's, you know, on budgets and we don't got we don't want to spend unnecessary money, let's swap the car, man. Let's swap the car. Because these things, I mean, I've been fighting. If you've been walking with me since I bought the car, I believe it was 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. I think it was 2020. So we have 4 years on this build. And man, the money I spent on this car as of today, and it's not done, I'm somewhere close to around 40,000 on this car. And I still haven't painted yet. I still haven't rebuilt the transmission yet. You know what I mean? I've done everything else, but I haven't done that. And it's still not dialed all the way in. But I have an issue with this, which is what this video is going to be about, with the oil drain line. We're going to address that. Shout out my man Crash and Burn. I rock with him. You know, go over there, check his page out, man. He got everything over there. But he gave me some game on this oil drain line with the turbo. And I'm going to go with this route because I did it. But anyway, I'll get into that later in the video. But the intro of this video is more so about, do you want to LS swap a car, LS swap a Grand National over the V6? And again, it's dope when you pop that V6 engine and everybody gets a look at it. Let me go and change this around. When you get to pop that V6 engine and you get to see this, and you know you're not gonna see that nowhere else, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? You know, but when you don't, I cleaned my lens off too. So if it was foggy earlier, I cleaned the lens off just now, and I'm not gonna re-record this. So it's gonna be foggy in the beginning, but we good right now. But anyway, you know, like I said, you know, look at the V6 engine, man. You don't get to see a chance to see the V6 like that. You just don't get a chance to see it. You know, so it's a beautiful thing. So when I pop my engine, I'm like, man, especially with everything that I've done, and I've done all the stuff on the car, I'm very, very, very satisfied with it, you know, as far as that's concerned. But the flip side, that is, I spent so much on. I'm gonna break it down what I spent on bringing this car up to standards, and I still don't know how reliable it's gonna be. I still don't know exactly how much power it's gonna make. I don't know how much power that it's supposed to make. I'm supposed to double my power versus what it was factory, but we're gonna see. We're gonna do all that, But at the end of the day, would I LS swap? Would I recommend LS swapping the car? It just depends on where you're trying to go with it, man. Be honest with you. Budget friendly people, I would recommend LS swapping it. If you got the long pockets and you don't care, then keep the 6 in there. You know what I mean? Just do your thing. But for all that, car shaming that we do in the Turbo Buick community. Oh, you guys, it's not a Regal. No, it's just a Regal. You don't got a Grand National. Forget all that, man. It's my car. It's gonna be a Grand National. I don't care if I put a Hellcat engine in it. You know what I'm saying? And people might not agree with me, but I don't care. It's mine. I bought it. You didn't buy it. So when we get into all this back and forth about other people's stuff and how they spend their money and what they do with their money, y'all need to get off of that. If you got a V6 and you want to keep your V6 in it, cool. But if I want to go drop a LS motor in there and spend about $6,000-7,000 to make 800 horsepower, then don't knock me, because I spent way more than that on this right here, and I might get 400 horsepower in a car that's still outdated, in regards to what's on the market to make these cars very to compete with other performance cars, but and they can compete. But so when you get these guys on here talking about they got a Grand National 600, 700, 800 horsepower, ask how much money they spend to do that. They ain't do that with $2,000-3,000. You can believe that they did not do that. You know what I mean? So, and I don't knock them for that, because I wouldn't $25,000 to get 800 horsepower. If I had it in the Turbo 6, yeah, I'd probably do it. I don't got that though. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this one. Then I'm gonna keep this car to 6, and I'm gonna get another car because the only reason I bought the Impala was because I already had the engine. Do not get that twisted. Because I'm not gonna get rid of the engine. I just bought another car because I wanted the Impala anyway. But I ended up selling the Impala because of some other stuff I got going on. But I'm gonna get another one, or I'm gonna get a SS Monte Carlo, or if a Grand National roller come across, or a T-type roller come across with a T-top, I'll grab it up too and drop that 6.0 in there. So that's why I want to get that off, man. I love my Grand National. I love the Turbo 6 stuff. But when we talk about the money spent, was it worth it? For me, I'm going to say it was kind of worth it, because of this, not really a one on the car, but it's a one on the car. Meaning that my brother got it from his uncle, who bought it brand new. Uncle passed away, brother passed it down, sold it to me. I got it now. You know what I mean? So because I got the paperwork, I got the bill of sale, I got the original stuff, I got all that stuff for the car. So because of that makes me want to keep the car kind of original, because I know where the car's been, I know where the car is at, so I don't really want to change this car. But if I grab one that's been it's been through a couple of hands, roller, transmission motor out of it, all that type stuff. If I grab one like that, then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swap that joint, man. Ain't gonna hold you. You know what I mean? But anyway, I just want to get that off real quick, man. So let's get into the real reason why I did this video. And forgive me, cause my hand is everywhere, but I'm doing this with my phone because my GoPro battery is shot. So let's get into this situation with this motor real quick. All right, man. So what we got going on today is you have, let me see something. Hold on a second. All right, you see, you have this, I don't know if you can see it. So you see that red and blue right there? That's the top of the oil drain line. And evidently I didn't cut it. I don't know if I can get a better view of, there we go, better view of it right there. So down here in the bottom, it curves and it goes up under this bracket that mounts the turbo on it. So evidently I didn't cut that line short enough, but not cutting it short enough. If I cut it any shorter, it would have been hard to get that line onto the turbo. So since it was too long, evidently it crimped, and when it crimped, it causes oil to shoot back up to the turbo. So I got oil coming out of here You know, and it did this before. You know, when I had another line on it, so I redid it, and it's still doing the same thing. You know, so I'm at to pull this out. I'm clean out the turbo again, and then what we're gonna do is go back with the metal drain line, metal return line that came with the car, and I threw mine away because I felt like I wasn't gonna need it anymore. You know, so I normally don't do that. I don't know what I was thinking about. I threw the thing away. So I guess I had to order another one from G-Body Parts. You know, G-Body Parts, they might go too far with these stuff, and they got them new and they got them used. So of course I bought the used one because I don't, you know, because you can't see it anyway, right? So that's what we got going on with that. So once I go through, I gotta do some more yard work, man. Yeah, so you know, daughter graduating, and I did my shrubs yesterday. You know what I mean? So that's your boy. So everybody, why you don't get the landscaper to do it? Nah, he cuts the grass. I did that. We only do it like once a year anyway. And that's how I'm able to go do the other little stuff that I do. I save money where I can save money. But anyway, so after I do that, I'm going to get the mulch for that, and then I'm gonna get pulling this turbo back out. And once I pull the turbo out again, then I'm gonna put that drain in, but I'm gonna pull that bracket out. So I'm gonna video all that to get into it. But this bracket right here, this is a bracket, it goes from here to here, and you mount a turbo on it up here. So I'm gonna pull that bracket out, and I'm just gonna cut an area for me to be able to guide the pipe down into the block. And that should resolve my issue. But I will say this, I did pull the car out once I put the rims on it for the first time in over a year. And it was way more responsive. Even without the transmission being built, it was way more responsive with everything I've done with the E85 and everything. It didn't run smooth yet, but they say I have to drive the car a while to get the E85 all the way through the system. The car was almost empty, so it's most of the E85 in there. But it did, you know, do a little hesitation here and there. But for the most part, and then that might have had something to do with the oil kicking back in the turbo. You know, it could have been suffocating the intake or whatever. So we're gonna see what it looked like when we, you know, cruise around the block once we get that line done. So I'm waiting on a line coming from G-Body, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the turbo out. Now the other issue I got, which ain't really an issue, is these studs are too short, right? So what happened is I ordered the 4Gs for the car, but when I ordered the 4Gs, I gave them the specs based on a G-body, and we all know the G-body spindles have the hub for it, the protruding hub, which sticks out for you to bolt the rotor onto the spindle. But this particular setup I have is a Blazer spindle with a Blazer hub, so I don't have the knuckle. So when they built and I forgot to tell them that. So when they built the wheel, with all this space in here for the nub, for the knuckle. So now you still have this little itch spaces back here. So basically, when I put my nuts on, it's only threading about halfway up. Is that focus? There we go. It's only threading about halfway up. So what I'm gonna do is go grab some longer studs, and I got to take this wheel because the wheel, as I told you in the last video, had a leak around the bead in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and remount it, and we're gonna see if that resolves the issue, and if that doesn't resolve the issue, and I get my guy Phil, who I got the reels from, and we get that resolved. But he's just waiting on me to give him the feedback on that. This tire right here, it's not flat, but it's low. But it's been low like that for a while. So it just might not have had enough air in it. I don't know. But I'm gonna pull that one off too. And I'm taking both of these to College Park Custom. Shout out my man Todd up there at College Park Custom. I got my Savinis from him. But he's the closest dealer to me that I would, you know, trust mounting my 4Gs. So I'm gonna get this off, get those other studs out, and then I'm gonna turn you guys back on when I get back to the crib. So on this side, we're gonna go ahead and pop these nuts out. I gotta go back in and do this underpipe too as well. I'm gonna do all that. It's underpipe under there that's leaking exhaust on the bottom side, and put the exhaust gasket maker in there, and that should be fine. And but yeah, so to get these out, it's just real simple. Just take a heavy hammer, push these back, and it's an area in the back behind it that's kind of back there to be able to replace the studs, because of course you all know that these studs break. So let me grab my little sledge thingy, little mini sledgehammer. I forgot how many pounds this is. Oh, 4 pounds. 4 pounds. Just that simple. Simple. Now that one probably behind that, so I'll turn the wheel around and the roller around and pull all these out, and then I'll go grab the other ones and put them back in. Yep, just want to give you guys a quick, just show you how easy this is, man. So a lot of the stuff in these cars, man, is real easy, but I will be opening a shop soon, you know, so we're gonna be doing some of this stuff, man. You know, because everybody around here, from what I'm gathering, my neighbor, he has a 55 Bel Air, and he done moved it to 2 shops, because he put the car in the shop last August, and all he did from then to now is pull the motor out. So I don't know. Initially, I won't be doing LS swaps yet, but I'm definitely gonna be doing paint, rear ends, not cutting the rear ends, but you know, if you got, you know, putting poly traction in there, changing the gears, painting the car, big brake conversions, all the little stuff. Pretty much everything except swapping, and I'm gonna get to swapping in a minute, but I don't have the hoist and the stuff for that, and I'm pretty sure I could do it. So that's definitely coming once I get the shop and we get the lifts and all that. You know, it's definitely coming. But right now, when we started off, we're gonna start off with the small stuff, and we're gonna try and get some distribution deals to get these rims popping. But yeah, let me turn you guys back off, man, and go get these studs. Got them studs out. Went over the Summit. Got these. I think these are 2 1/4 inches. The 12. Oh man. I don't know why my brain be freezing. That's why I'm getting old, bro. Yeah, 12 M12s, 1.5, and we're gonna see if I can slide that in here. I'm gonna turn y'all off and get y'all back in a minute because I can't hold this camera. I got one stud in, so you have to find a sweet spot because they're a little bit longer. These ones, of course, because that's the whole purpose of it. But there's a sweet spot, and because they're longer, the other sweet spot wasn't good enough, so that's the one that allowed me. It's right here on the front corner if you have the S10 Blazer spindle set up for the G-body. So you put that in, and then you put a bolt on it, like so, and you just torque it, and to pull it through till it's snug. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them. That's in. Do the rest of them. Pull through simple little process. Pull that out, turn that around, put the bolt on it, pull it on through, and it'll be good to go. So I'm gonna do that for all of them. I'm gonna cut y'all back on in a minute. I got them all in. Took me about 10 minutes to do all 5 of them. So we do the other side, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna re-bleed the brakes again because they're a little bit softer than I would like, just to make sure everything is right and exact. And I'll put everything back in, button everything on up. But I'm gonna go ahead and get to this other side, and then we'll get everything locked and loaded. So got the other side on, bolts pulled through. So now I got to do is I'm gonna run another bolt over them just to smooth them out, because I had to tap these in with the anvil a little bit, so just in case some of the threads was off. go ahead and just thread them around real quick because I don't have any cross threads and I won't have to pop this. I want to pop the bolts. I don't have to do this all over again. So that's what we're doing right now. So we'll go ahead and get everything else popping. But it's kind of nighttime now, so I'm gonna come back tomorrow and I'm gonna go ahead and bleed the brakes and put the wheels back on and then start tearing down that turbo. One at a time, we back at it, YouTube. I went ahead and started the mount up. I haven't torqued them down yet, but you can see a major difference. You see how that nut, that stud comes all the way to the end of the nut. It wasn't even going halfway the last time. So, yeah, that would have been an issue for me. I think it might have been maybe a little over a fourth of the way through. So I didn't like that. So I went and I could have got probably a longer stud. I got plenty of room in here. So I probably could have got a longer stud. But that's fine. That's because there's plenty room because the nuts are about that long. So I got plenty on there in opposed to what was on there. So I'm happy about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and torque these down here in a minute. And I was gonna bleed the brakes, but I just checked my brakes and they're not as soft as I thought they were. I don't know. I must have been focused on something else. So I'm not gonna bleed the brakes now. Once I put everything back together and I drive it around, and it gives me an issue, then I'll bleed the brakes. I got to pull the rims back off again in a minute anyway when I get ready to start prepping for paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and torque up mount up this other wheel, and we're gonna get ready to tear down this turbo. And I'm gonna probably put that in another video because I don't want this video too long. But that was the purpose of this video, really, is just to give you guys an idea of what really goes on at these Grand Nationals. And me personally, as a car guy, I'm very peculiar about everything. So the wheel studs, I've changed the wheel studs on the front and the back. The back is the same. It's the front as far as how the bolts come out of the stud, and that's actually better, even though that rim is not running a spacer, because I was running a spacer the last time with the Ruchis. But anyway, I'm about to get to this turbo, but before I close, getting back to the intro of the video, as far as do you really want to keep your 6 or do you want to LS swap it? And if you watched all the videos, I went through all this stuff at some point, but I'm gonna try and run through it real fast so you can get an idea of the money, because everything in here is new for the most part. So we're gonna start with the radiator and the cooling fans. So the radiator was a Z28 radiator. It came in about $150. The cooling fans came in at about $150. And the harness, you have to get 2 of them from Casper's. You have to get 2 of these harnesses for the hot air. So they were about $75 a piece. So that's about $450 just on the cooling, right? Then we had the water pump. I forgot how much the water pump was, but I think maybe about $120. Then, so that's the water pump. Then we got we had to convert from I forgot what the other one was, but that's an R134. So that's a new AC compressor. That AC whole system get redone with the dryer and everything, about $700. Alternator, that's 200 amp alternator. That came in at about $300. So I got the 86, 87 coil pack. That came in somewhere around $300 itself. I forgot what the fuel pressure regulator was. I got the big mouth cold air intake. That was maybe $300. The ported throttle body, I believe, was like $150. The turbo, new turbo was $1,000. Wastegate was $130. I got my intake ported. That was $1,000. New hydro boost, that was $500. Wheelwood MC, that was $250. The mass airflow translator, I believe that was about 150, 200 bucks. I could be wrong, but somewhere around there. And I got my mass airflow sensor. That was about 100 bucks. These new reservoirs here and there, they were about 100 bucks, about $60, $70 a piece. Red top battery, 200 bucks. Aftermarket stainless steel headers, they were about $180 off of eBay. 3-inch downpipe, that was $600 from G-Body. Then I got the pipes 3 inches off going to the back. That was about 800 bucks shipped. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything. Okay, yeah, I got 400 for the 80-pound injectors and the turbo tweak chip that allows you around 85. ECM conversion for 86, 87. I got 86, 87 ECM in there. I believe that was like 100 bucks. Hot wire running back to my fuel pump. That was like 100 bucks, I believe. Then the fuel pump, I got an Aerodyne 340. That came in at about 300 bucks. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting stuff, and that's just on the engine side of it. We hadn't even got to the rest of the car. I gotta do fuel tank too. That's about 200 bucks as well. But yeah, so I didn't do anything to the the inside the block internally. You know, I changed all these hoses. I got this new little thing for the heater back here. Yeah, so man, this thing can get real pricey, you know, just to make minimum horsepower, which is the point. So if you add up all those things that I just mentioned, and I'm pretty sure I forgot some stuff, but if you just add up those things that I mentioned, and then you put that against how much it would cost you to LS swap a car, and then you put in the horsepower that you look to gain. Because seriously, really speaking, you could LS swap the car, put a nice cam in it, you know, get your head CNC and button it right on up without forced induction and get, you know, 500 horsepower, 550, almost 600 horsepower out the car without even forced induction. You know what I'm saying? And you could do that cheaper than what I did to get 400 horsepower. And I'm hoping to get 400 horsepower. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can go LS swap. I bought a block 800, get the block cleaned up, you know, another $1,000. Get your heads, you know, might have $1,200 tied up in some heads. Get your cam, $300-400 bucks. You know, button all that stuff back up. Get your, you know, if you get your little pulley system, that might be $1,500. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you could do all that and put it back in the car and be at significant more horsepower than what you would be if that's your goal. If horsepower is your goal, if horsepower is not your goal, then by all means keep the 6 in it and try to keep it fresh. But you're gonna have to update it because these cars are 40 years old. These hot air cars are 40 years old. The intercooled cars are creeping on 40 years old. You know what I mean? So if that's something that you want to do, then you have to take that into consideration. You got to take that into consideration when it comes to your budget. You know, like I said, if I could do it all over again, I probably would swap it if horsepower is my goal. But horsepower, big horsepower with this car is not really my goal. I just wanted, you know, nice, fun. It's more responsive I see now, but I'll get a true test of what it does once I get the transmission rebuilt. And we'll go from there, man. But appreciate you guys. Make it do what you do. We'll get the LS build on what's next, whether it be a G-Body or another Impala, because I'm gonna get both the cars. I just don't know when yet. But yeah, again, appreciate you guys' support for rocking out with your boy. And I'm out. Go ahead and get ready to pull out this turbo, and we'll get that in another video. Peace.